Guess it's time. Good evening, everybody. We're here for the Chestnut Street Phase 3 project. Need a light here. And we're going to start with the engineer. Lee, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Lee Zier with CES Engineering.
Michelle Delsite with the city.
Jim Meister with the city.
Dave Manival, GNR Charles, Project Manager.
Rick Redmond with the city.
Chris Reese with the city.
We have Joe in the camera back here. We're going to start off where we have here, Cheryl, at 3rd Street, working east. As we go down through, what we'll do is address the property owners if they have any questions, or if anybody has any questions about anything on the project itself. This phase here, we'll be doing the sidewalks and parking, and there'll be another phase for the paving. Most likely, we won't have a meeting or a public meeting for the paving because it's kind of obvious once we're all done, it's going to be paved. Last year, of course, we went through and did the infrastructure, stormwater, sewer lines, water lines, and of course, the gas company spent practically a year in there. So we're going to start off here at 3rd Street.
Yeah, what do you need?
Work our way through. This parking lot, of course, is the city's. This is the welfare office, and of course, the next building is, the next
Okay,
lot is another parking lot for the city.
all right.
Is any residents living in this section right here on the south side? Okay. Sure, want to move on? Oh, okay.
Please do.
Pardon?
Please do.
Oh, Lee is. Oh, you're out of traffic tonight. Okay. Of course, these sidewalks through here are very bad. We have some massive trees in here which we removed.
Right.
And once the, is there any questions as we're going? Just do a yell and we'll stop and discuss it. But these trees, of course, have been removed and so forth. Here's 4th Street, as we know, from Market South, 4th Street. Mr. Garvey, you want to stay over here so you can watch the screen? 4th Street has been done by the same contractor. Came out very nicely. Is there any questions so far?
Those strips aren't done yet, so those are gonna be done.
Well, these are, yeah, the ADAs will be done in this project. Here in 4th Street, of course, the cutoff was in here somewhere and across over here. And both sides were done all the way down to Walnut. All the ADAs and a lot of curbing was replaced in that project. Yes.
Are they starting from 3rd Street?
Yes.
Working their
Well,
way down?
sorry.
Starting at 3rd, working
And when do they anticipate starting?
August 6th, excavation starts. There will be signs and engineering done next week.
I see another question, sir? Did you have a question? Oh, I'm sorry. Anything else? Yes. Mr. Shred.
One lane open.
Yes. North or south side you gonna start?
South.
South side. The tough side will be done first. Any questions on that? If not, Lee? Through here, this section, I think this whole side here basically will be redone. A lot of this here, some sections in here, I think are gonna stay. Some sections in there, Lee will stay, yes.
Some are staying, but wherever the sidewalk's been tore up, they could
This
just.
section here will stay. This is city-owned property, but we just have a little bit of work to be done in there where they ran a new water line in. And the sewer stubbed it in for future. Of course, this is all right church, but some work to be done in through here, this area, and in through this area. Pat, you're back here. Where's Pat? All right here. Going back up a little bit, Lee. Well, we have, this home isn't here. I mean, am I right, Pat? This is one?
That's a parking lot now.
Okay, your driveway, what do we have that showed for Pat's driveway? Might as well address that while we're here. Take a minute.
So that's not one that's modified. That's one area that does need to be changed.
Okay. If Pat acquired that property and raised it, made parking for his home, so we'll have to address that.
So what we'll do is we'll put like a 12-foot driveway entrance there. So it'll depress the curb area for your driveway.
All right.
To show you an example, yeah, there was one.
I think 12 might be kind of small. I think, Pat, you have basically the width of that lot, don't you?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, we'll definitely look at that.
I mean, it would be similar to something like this.
See this entrance right here, Pat? The radius is here.
All right.
You won't have the radiuses, yours will just be straight, there won't be depressed curves, and so you just drive it up and
Jim,
on.
if you want, as an
Okay.
example, I think we just did one, that's property on 4th Street. Wasn't it similar, the curving on that?
You know, right, I don't think we touched,
I think it's different, never mind. I thought it was very similar.
but yeah, Brian put his own, but we just put the curb in because it was a short curb.
The borough looks similar.
Yes.
Here's one section, there's one over there.
Where's that at, Lee?
That's after.
Is that after Fifth?
That's after Fourth, that's actually between Fourth and Fifth. It's for that carport.
Yes, right at the corner home.
Okay,
Yeah, it's the barber shop.
Barber shop.
That's the barber shop, behind the barber shop.
So it looks something like that.
Would it be the length of the lot though? Like,
It won't be the length because you want to minimize your width of it. What we'll do is we'll center it in the lot for you.
We'll put this, the width of it, we might be working more than 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
all right.
We'll definitely discuss it with you before we put it in. Okay? Okay, back to the view here. Anybody living in this section here yet? Any questions?
Yes. I have a question. We have slate sidewalks,
Yes.
and the slate goes under the steps. I assume the
Yes.
slate's
That's
gonna
right
get
in
pulled
here.
out, so
It's the next
what's the
house.
next one?
It's us and our neighbor.
Okay.
The 3 houses in a row there all have slate that goes under the steps. So my question was, I assume the slate's gonna get pulled out. Are we responsible to do something under the steps?
No,
Or
we'll take care of that.
you'll take care of that?
Now, and also, we have to ask you folks, if you want the slate, we must provide a location, we must put it there for you.
No.
So if you want the slate, you have to tell us, okay?
No, we don't. But that was our concern was,
Yeah, well, whatever we remove, we have to take and replace,
okay.
okay? And as we're getting closer to your home, of course, it'll be, who's running the job? Mark Strasser, okay. There'll be a boss on the job, of course, and you make sure you contact him and show him what you want done. If there are any issues, contact us right away, okay?
He will get with you throughout, as we're progressing towards you, to verify where you want the slate put, or if you don't want it. And then he'll make arrangements to take it away, and he'll work with you on, how it's under your steps. What kind of steps do you have? Are they wooden,
They're just
concrete?
wooden steps, there's 6x6 posts there at the bottom, at the front, is what they are, they're sitting on top of the slate, is all that it is, and then they're just pressure treated 2x6s, but it's all painted.
Right.
And basically, my neighbor, there, the house on the right, hers is the same thing.
And also, when we're doing this, if you're gonna make any changes, now's the time to make the change. If this needs a new set of steps, now's the time to clean everything off. We'll put sidewalks and so forth in back, and, and we don't do the steps, but we'll do everything that needs to be done for the steps.
Right. All of us, our steps are all in real good shape.
Okay.
That was our concern, was that,
Yes.
there's no need to replace anything on them, they're all really in good shape yet.
That's a little slide them out, the old slate, and pour back on.
Well, depends on the condition. Up in Maynard Street, last year, we saw it across in front and left the slate underneath the step.
Okay.
Because the step was in that bad a shape that trying to slide something out and block it up, probably would have fell apart.
No, all of ours, in fact, my neighbor just had hers replaced, so hers are
Yeah.
fairly new.
That's why I mentioned about the condition, now would be the time. And the reason Dave's mentioning that it was a situation like, if we disturb and break something, we have to fix it.
Right.
So instead of, apparently the proper owner didn't want to take and replace,
Right.
so instead of getting themselves into a jam where they had to put the steps back in, or the municipality, like would be us, they'll cut that so we don't get in that situation.
So if you guys feel that you could damage it when you're gonna be removing it, then at that point you'll just cut it. And then you'll let them run. But if you're gonna pull it and
And
something
we
happens.
worked with that owner. Of course, that man didn't live there, it was a rental property and, you know, and that's why he wasn't spending any money, you know, whatsoever, for whatever reason.
So I think for your question, you wanna make sure your steps don't get damaged.
Well,
too,
it wasn't even so much that, I just wanted to know if we were going to be responsible for fixing under the steps, or if that was part of it, that was what my question was.
Yeah, it's part of the contract, and I can tell you, when we surveyed everything, anything that went under the steps, we have it in the contract, and then we saw better. So that's how the contract's set up for it. Now, if it's something like if your piece of slate just goes back under it a little bit, and like it sits on other pieces of slate further back, we may end up, like Dave's saying, we might end up taking that out and then just pour it back in underneath it, but
If
a lot of
mine
it will probably
actually
just,
goes back in.
yeah, so probably what we end up doing is just saw cutting it, and that's the piece
I don't
of
have a
slate.
problem with that.
Yeah.
I didn't, like I said, my question basically was, I didn't know if we were gonna be responsible to have someone come in and tear the steps off.
Right,
So you
yeah, that's,
do the concrete and put it back.
And our guys are real good at turning the steps off.
Okay.
Any other questions in this section right in here?
So if you have a single concrete step on top of the sidewalk, is that just gonna be
probably what
sliced in front? or-
that, well, it depends, or if it's a precast, they might set it off, pour new concrete and set it back. Because there's different scenarios as you get through.
Any other questions? Okay, Lee?
Hey, now, Jim,
Yes.
we get out there too far. On the upper side of the street, it was either Coons's or Frank Young. Frank Young is the kid that gets the bought the property. There was a vacant lot. I think it was in the 600 block. I know it was before 7th Street. I believe it was before
Yeah,
7th Street.
it's right past the deli, that house.
Yes.
Oh, it's on the other side, it's on the other side, that's
Yeah.
7 something, okay. He wants to make sure the same thing as Pat, that there is a,
Okay, wait until we get up there and Lee will
Okay,
pull it
all
up.
right.
Okay, I know right where you're at. Right up in this area.
yeah, he
by the
called
tree.
me the other day.
Anybody in this section here, get close to the deli? Yes.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
here.
you're over here.
I'm back.
Yes, right. You're back in here,
Yeah.
around the fifth. Now, I think we discussed, you had some hand-laid brick in there.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna let you take them out and go with whatever.
Okay. Look, well, of course, topsoil and grass. Okay. But what we working, you know, I know we discussed it when we went through the last time with the sewer lines and so forth this past fall, past year. But we'll be there and think about how you want that handled. I think you had a light post there too.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, there was a light post, two trees, and pavers.
Any other questions in this section here?
When you rip up the sidewalks and stuff, everybody will just have to use their back entrances, or will there be like a, somehow for them to get in their front doors, or?
Dave, gentlemen, the question is when they're working in front of the structure, pouring the sidewalks, the entrance, going in and out, it'll probably be a day or two, you might have to be using the side door and back door or something like that because of the fact of fresh concrete.
Right, yeah, or we'll work with you to get a bridge across
All right.
for, you know, for the poor.
Yeah, because that's a problem for me, because I can't lock my back door from outside. It has to be locked from the inside, and we actually have to go out the front of our house.
And then I don't have a back entrance, I have a building behind my
You can use
place.
the window.
Yes, I'm gonna slingshot me over to it.
Put your ladder up. Now, we'll work with you to get you, you know, keep egress in and out.
Any other questions? Yes, no.
No, just itch.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Good thing I'm not at an arms dealer.
If you like, we can sell you some.
Anything else?
Taste for slate sidewalk.
Yeah.
We'll stop up in here because I know Mr. Garman has some questions. Right here, I know we have questions here. Yes, Jim?
Just fix it.
Well, now remember, that spot there is yours.
No. It dropped when you guys started digging around.
We're gonna go back in here somewhere, Jim. The front
Understood.
stoop. Jim, back to the front stoop. Your pad, I think, is cut off right there.
There is a joint there, yes.
Yes. We're going back to that joint because we already made one repair here because of that. I was only kidding you. I knew it'd get you excited.
I know that.
Oh, Lee, make a notation. This section of the curb, the gas company tore out. Yes, they're responsible for that. And they did that line from here down to here somewhere. Any question in this section? Now, right here, Lee, is where
Yeah, it's
you removed that tree and we took, I think, that home out right there.
I have gravel there.
It was, yeah, 700 block.
Yeah, it's that one right there.
Right here.
Yeah, and he just wanted to make sure that there was the opening for off-street parking there.
Yep, I got that one.
Okay.
Jim, excuse me.
Yes.
When do you anticipate getting out that far? You have any idea? I gotta tell some people.
Mid-September. Beginning of September, roughly.
Okay? As long as I can tell them something and then stick by it.
Robert has my number. He calls me all the time, so the manager, we talk quite often. I keep him,
Obviously, he and his bosses want to know.
yeah, well, definitely, yes. Any questions in this section here?
Quick comment, I just have to think, that's a pretty aggressive. You're starting in August 6th, and you're gonna be out there,
September or October 1st.
excuse me?
The schedule worked out, it should be completed by October 1st.
Okay. Then you have to be,
Everything.
Pardon?
Everything, all the way up to 10.
Yeah, PennDOT has set the schedule up, am I right, Dave?
Yeah.
And they have it all calculated out, how many man per day, per sidewalk, per curb, per this, per that. So,
And there's gonna be one lane open all the way down through, the whole entire time.
Yeah,
pardon?
And there's gonna be one lane open all the way down through.
Yes.
We're gonna work on one side at a time. So he's gonna do that whole south side first and then come back and then do the north side.
And then do the final paving after all.
Yeah, and that's why we're doing by October 1st, and so we get the paving done yet this year. That's the whole plan.
and final paving is done then?
Yes.
Yes, as soon as that's done, it's gonna be paved.
Done October,
Well, no.
It'll be probably by
This is
November.
kind, go ahead, Lee, I'm sorry.
That's okay, that's okay, probably by about mid-November. It'll be complete.
November.
Yes.
So you said you're doing all the way down south side of the street and then starting on the north side from Third down?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the plan, but we're gonna see how it works out. We may go back and forth and finish the block as we go.
Okay. You're not doing
And that would depend on, that would depend on weather, time. And, if we are successful with the paving bid, that would open up, then when we close that side, we could do some paving and advance that project also.
When will you know if you're gonna start on the north side of the street for the sidewalk?
2 to 3 weeks.
Okay. Because I was under the
Yeah,
impression
2
when you
weeks.
said you were gonna start August 6th, you're gonna do from Third to Fourth and that way. But you're not, you're doing south side all the way down.
That'll just be a decision, when we talk with PennDOT and the city, if we see we can, advance the speed of the completion of the project. We would.
Yeah. Either way, I just want to know. 'cause
We
we're-
would then request them to do this. Of course, it's there, they have to approve it,
Just trying to figure out the timing, because we're either from Third to Fourth Street here, we're either at the beginning of the project or somewhere in the middle.
Middle,
So,
right.
okay.
What will happen when dates are being, going to be posted, sure we'll get them posted to Daily Item with a press release. Monday morning, we're gonna start here, do this, and do that. Matter of fact, the Daily Item isn't here this evening, right? It's supposed to be. Okay, back to this section, anything through here?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
Those ones that are busted up at my place, they're gonna do them, right?
I think, in through here, I know you got some busted, I think in here you got some busted.
There's some at the other end too that are busted.
Yes, remember, Lee, we did a walkthrough, PennDOT required us to take and do those, I think, help me out, Lee, right in here, we had something to do in that.
Well, we gotta do each one of these depressions, we gotta put in a DWS.
Right.
So they're making us put in the UDA curb ramps all the way up through there.
Gonna do what?
Put in the curb ramps,
Yeah.
so,
with the detectable warning lane.
yep.
Yeah,
The burgundy.
yellow one.
Yes. Anything else there?
Other than the busted up ones. I don't want somebody to come along 5 years from now and say, hey, you gotta fix that pavement up there, all busted up.
No, it's gonna be cleaned up as we go here. Of course, we have some work to do over here, up in here. Any other questions as we're going up around?
I have one more.
Yes, go ahead.
The sewer smell down there is horrendous.
Yeah, that's a question I have as well,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there at our house, you can't even have the windows open, the smell of sewer gas coming out of that
Right.
storm drain is so bad.
Lee, you were looking into
Yeah.
something, they have a design out now.
Yeah, we're gonna be putting on something on the storm system to get rid of that. So,
There are nights, honestly, you cannot
Yeah,
have
right.
windows
As
open.
soon as it
It's
gets
just-
dry out,
It's right there at Fifth
If they
Street,
get,
right, yeah, right there at the corner of Fifth.
Make some type of baffle, am I correct?
yeah, that's what we're gonna be putting on.
And make a product just for that situation. And what has happened is, being the fact that we separated the systems and so forth, we're just having, and dry weather, of course, there's no flow and so forth, it just leaves that over.
We're gonna have some kind of, Chris was just mentioning, we're gonna have some kind of, setup for parking.
Parking, basically, like we did this past year, this parking, I'll be back way up. The city has a property there, the church, this is in around 4th Street. We'll be getting parking passes for the city lot there, in phase 1 from 3rd to 4th, in that section there. A lot of you folks on the south side are parking out back. And also, we utilize some parking there at Oaks's, and of course, now the church isn't, don't mention the church, I can't do that. But back to Oaks's, and then of course the city has a building past 4th, they use the back lot there. So what we'll be doing, sure we'll be getting parking permits like we did last time available. You can just stop in, get yourself a parking pass, and you can use the city lot on the east side of the welfare office. The other side of the lot show they're all
permit,
permanent parking, yes. Any other questions on the parking side of it? If there is something, like I said, as we go, call City Hall, speak to Cheryl Bill's site, and she'll have permits and so forth, right, in direction where to park and where not to.
I have one question about parking. Like, when the project's all finished, is there still going to be parking on the south side the way it is now?
Yes,
Okay.
in front of, yes, and it's in the contract to line that all off like we did in 4th Street.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
They're doing it again, not us.
It's in the contract. Lee?
Well, that'll go inside the paving bid?
That'd be the paving.
That'll be in paving.
Okay, so we won't have to go after that. Okay, looks nice.
Another thing, what about the turn, this Like the gallows and stuff, is that gonna be back or is this?
It all gets put back the way it is.
That'll go back to my voice, the same way like the stop bars and stuff like that?
Yep.
Okay. Someone asked about lining it, I told them, I don't think we can line that, state says no way.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
You can now, if you wanted to, but now we move that curb back.
I have a question about that. That's, the way it is now or the way it was, you don't know if it's 1 lane or 2 lanes, or is it 1 lane, or is it 2 lanes, or what. It's gotta be lined somehow. That's crazy.
You mean, you're referring to right here?
Anywhere.
They come up Chestnut Street from time to time.
Pardon?
Yeah, it's a
There'll be
two-way
people
street.
coming up Chestnut Street from time to time.
It's a two-way
Like that, but
street.
is it 1 lane or
I've
is it
seen
2
that
lanes,
many
or what is
times.
it? You don't know.
Some, the old timers would drive left to right, some drive down the middle.
That's what, that kind of should really be fixed, you know, it's like.
That's something we can definitely address in the paving contract. Okay.
It's gotta be lined though somehow.
Well, that's what we would be discussing, putting a center line in to kind of, have people decipher if you're gonna go left or right or whatever.
The whole thing though, not just at the intersections.
Yes, I noticed, yes. Other questions? Do you want to run out to the end here then? Please. Froze up?
Yeah, it's like,
Okay.
I have one other question.
Yes.
Like on 4th Street where they put the curb in, it's like, what, 4 inches high?
That's true, and
Why is that?
it's obvious because what has happened, the curb, or excuse me, the sidewalk behind that curb, okay, you follow that elevation, put a high curb, it's tripping, and that's why it's done like that. And of course, this section right here was already done, this tree was removed, and that corner was cut back. This visibility really opens things up. So when you pull out here in the 10th, you can take and see much easier traffic coming up on the north side of Chestnut.
But the curb's more or less falling what's already there.
Pardon?
The curb is just falling what's already there, more or less.
Yes. Now, if you were doing a total, you know, we're working off the elevation of the front porch, so you have to work it from there out, okay? You can't take and put an 8-inch curb, put the sidewalk to match that, and of course, then the step wouldn't line up with the porch itself. That's the situation there. Any other questions? Okay. If you want to jot down, I'll give you my name and number for, pardon? Oh, anybody else? Everybody signed in this evening?
Aye.
You did? You get one demotion. Thank you. My name, first name is Jim, last name is Eister, E-I-S-T-U-R, 570. If you want to jot it down, give me a call, 274-5799. If you lose the number, call City Hall. Best time to call me anytime after about 6 o'clock in the morning. I'll probably go on the job every day, sometime. So if you have any questions, call me. Don't put it off and think it's gonna go away, so just call me. That's what I'm here for.
You're gonna do something about that sewer, that's right.
Yes. Lee, do you have anything else?
that's pretty much it.
Just want to mention, this is a PennDOT project. PennDOT will have an inspector on the job for the length of the project. It's being funded through PennDOT. Like we mentioned earlier, probably within the next month or so, we're going to go out for bids for the paving section of it for October. Chris, anything else?
I think so.
No other questions? It's too easy.
I guess for clarification, once you get to that, the positioning of, like say you're gonna start at Third Street, you're gonna go out through there, then you get that all done. You're gonna keep the parking off of Chestnut Street until it's done then, so you have the space when you're working on the upper end to get the other cars out there fairly? Okay, just so if anybody calls and asks, we get questions on that all the time at the code office. But once the parking is removed from Third Street, or from Chestnut Street, it will be off of there until the job is finished. And you're gonna remove it, you're gonna, like, you're gonna remove Third Street, or from Third out at the time, then we get to Fourth Street, then you're gonna eliminate it as well.
Exactly, yeah. And hopefully that'll go pretty fast.
Yes.
Any other
But
questions?
once the parking leaves, it almost has to stay off. When we go to the north side, you know, equipment has to work and you can't have cars parked on the south side, opening doors and there's no way to get over it, just for everyone's safety. Once we're completed and through, then we'll give it back to you.
Questions? Comments? Cheryl? Lee? No? Well, thank you for coming. August 6th. We'll get started here and get things finished up.
Thank you very much for sharing this information. Let's give them a hand.